Now let's take a sneak peek of this week's broadcast.
What is your favorite Halloween candy?
What's up, Fairgrove? This week we'll be talking about the first ever broadcast.
Hey, what's up, Fairgrove? This week we'll be giving you an update in football.
Hey Fairgrove, this week we'll be talking about the last card ever Smart Kids 3.
Hey Falcons, this week I'll be teaching you guys how to make an orange sherbet cups with blackberries. Hey Fairgrove, don't forget, next week is Red Ribbon Week.
So start with your 60th forecast.
This week we'll be interviewing Miss Kraft.
Hey Falcons, this week's book is going to be a higher grade level.
Falcons.
I'm your host, Silas Bravo.
And I'm your host, Alyssa Godoy. Now let's go check out FATVX with your host, Tomas Jacobo.
What's up, Fairgrove? This week we'll be talking about the first ever broadcast. Hey, Mr. D, how you doing?
Hey Tomas, good to see you.
So, Mr. D, how did your first broadcast come together?
Well, you know, Tomas, hold on here. Let me take off my sunglasses. That'd be weird to do an interview with those on. The first broadcast, you know, it was a tough thing because I didn't really have a broadcasting class yet. What I had was a bunch of different tech periods, but I didn't have a class like this one where I could come in and do a set broadcast. So I had to do an after-school kind of club. That was hard, and to get kids interested, I knew I needed something big for the first show. So Ms. Framini, our principal, said, just do whatever you can, go for it. So I had a crazy idea, and it started with a dream I had about being late, and the rest is history. You guys want to see that clip or what?
So, Mr. D, I'm seeing the clips here, and I just want to know, how did you do that?
So that first year, starting at Fairgrove, I was kind of having a problem getting there on time. So me and my wife thought of a funny idea, and like I said, I had a bad nightmare that I was late for work. So I thought, what if we did a video like where I'm late for work, and worst case scenario, my car doesn't start. So that was the start of the idea, and Ms. Remy let me take this camera home. This was the camera we filmed it on. My wife filmed it all, so shout out to Mrs. Duarte for doing a great job. Yeah, so we filmed this out. I wrote out this skit, I wrote out how I wanted it to go, and she filmed it for me excellent. And it was an interesting thing because I actually had to ride that moped or little scooter throughout the town of Whittier, and I'm lucky that I didn't get a ticket for having no helmet. And one of the funniest things was, after the first broadcast, a bunch of little kids came running telling me, "You didn't wear your helmet, you didn't wear your helmet." And so in the, you know, thinking like a teacher, I thought, oh, I better show the kids the right way. So we made part 2 of that video, and in part 2 I get busted for not wearing a helmet. So it's on YouTube if you guys want to check it out, but we'll show a little clip of it right now if you guys want to see. So.
I'm so sorry. It's a major rush. I'm trying to get to this big telecast today. Sorry about that.
That's okay. Can you go ahead and step out of the bike, please?
Okay. Never gonna make it to the show.
So the next thing you know, I'm getting a ticket for no helmet, no license, no insurance, and to top it off, they towed my bike away. What was I thinking? Well, I could either sit here and cry about it, or I could just get up and run.
So Mr. D, what kind of cameras and electronics did you guys use to produce the first broadcast?
Okay, so when we started Tomas, the camera we used was a camera just like this. You'll notice it says mini DV. What that means is it uses little tapes. So we used to film everything on little tapes. We used to always have to buy tapes, categorized tapes, make sure that they weren't lost. That was always tough. The students had a really hard time with this. It took a long time to import the video and then to deal with it in the computer. Also, our computers we used were really old and slow. So it was very hard to get anything done on a weekly basis. The best thing that ever happened to us was getting donations and raising money for new mats.
So Mr. D, how long and difficult was it to make your first broadcast?
Well, I think the hardest part, Tomas, was recruiting the kids, getting the kids into the program. So, the first broadcast, I would say, I probably did 85–90% of the work with my wife obviously filming. After that first broadcast, I had kids coming out of the woodworks. There were kids from all over the school wanted to be part of this group that was going to do this first show. So as soon as that first broadcast actually aired, that's when we started actually really building a team. So the first broadcast was, like I said, mostly me and my wife, putting it together, doing the graphics, and then sending it out to the televisions of our school. And after that, it got a lot easier because I had kids that wanted to do it, and we would work on it after school every day. The hard part was, obviously, we only had 1 or 2 computers that could handle doing it though.
Mr. D, did you have any difficulties? And if so, how long did it take to fix them?
Well, honestly, Tomas, I would say probably one of the toughest things we faced when we were doing the show or trying to push out the show was how we're going to get it on the TVs. There was a system in place, and still works today. Well, actually, it doesn't work, but it's in place where we can broadcast on the television sets in the classroom. It's been down for a couple years, and when I first started, it was also down. So I had to work with the district and another company to get that piece of hardware going, which I need to do again because we've been out without the television system for about 2 years now. So when we got that fixed, it was a green light, and then Ms. Romini said that you guys got to push that first broadcast out, and at that point the clock was ticking. So it's actually around this time of the year in 2004 that we actually had the first broadcast. So again, I think the biggest challenge at first was just, like I said, getting that television system operational, and once we had that working, it was just a matter of filming the idea, putting it together, and then sending out the first broadcast to the whole school.
Thank you, Mr. D, for your time, and I hope to see you next week on FATVX.
All right, Tomas, thank you.
Stay tuned in next week for more FATVX.
Thanks, Tomas.
Let's go check out All About Tech to learn about a really fancy pen.
With your host, Jayla Wellmaker.
What's up, Falcons? This week's topic is the LiveScribe Echo Smart Pen 3. The Smart Pen allows you to record audio while you're taking notes and can connect to your computer, iPad, iPhone via micro USB. LiveScribe's newest technology can record up to 200 to 800 hours of audio depending on how much gigabytes of storage you've purchased. The Smart Pen will start at a cost of $149.95. Well, that's all for this week, Fairgrove. Now let's head back to the studio with Alyssa Godoy and Silas Bravo. Bye!
Thanks, Jalen. Let's go check out Weekend Weather with your host, Anna Rubio.
Hey Fairgrove Falcons! I'm Anna E. Rubio, your host for Weekend Weather, so let's get started with the show. But before I give you your 6-day forecast, let's go check out your Doppler radar with your host,
Lucia guys.
Yeah, Lucia guys.
As you can see on the map, there are no clouds moving towards us, so next week will be mostly dry. That's it for this week, Fairgrove.
Thanks, Lucy. Now let's get started with your 6-day forecast.
Today will be partly cloudy with a high of 82 and a low of 57.
Saturday will be partly cloudy with a high of 83 and a low of 58. Sunday will be partly cloudy with a high of 87 and a low of 62. Monday will be partly cloudy with a high of 92 and a low of 64. Tuesday will be partly cloudy with a high of 89 and a low of 60. Wednesday will be mostly sunny with a high of 83 and a low of 59. Thursday will be cloudy with a high of 84 and a low of 59. Well, that's it for this week, Fair Girl. Let's head back to the studio with Silas and
Alyssa, bye.
Thanks,
Anna. Now it's time to go check out fun food.
Your host, Millie Avalo.
Hey Fairway Falcons, I'm your host Millie Avalo for Fun and Food, and this week I'll be teaching you guys how to make an orange sherbet cup with blackberries. But before we get started, we have to wash our hands real well.
You first wash your hands for 30 seconds, or you can either count your ABC. The ingredients you will need are oranges, orange sherbet ice cream, and blackberries. You first cut the oranges in half. Then you take off the flesh of the orange. You then fill the orange cups with scoops of orange sherbet ice cream. And top it with blackberries.
For today's show, we're going to have Alexis and Karen from College Focus to try it. This is actually really good.
It is good.
Oh. Well, that's it for this week, Fair Grove. I hope you guys get inspired. Bye. Thanks, Millie.
Next up is sports news with your host, Damien Alvarado.
Link up! So what you saying? You know I'm the man. Nothing but a bird, I'ma leave you where you stand. Heard you got a...
Hey Fair Grove, I'm Damien Alvarado and this is Sports News. Let's head over to the NFL. The 49ers played Monday Night Football, beating the Rams 31-17. The Cowboys faced the Seahawks last Sunday, winning with a final score 30-23. The Chargers barely beat the Raiders last Sunday, winning with a final score 31-28. Be sure to watch the Raiders and Cardinals go head-to-head this Sunday at 1:25 p.m. 49ers play this Sunday, facing off against the Broncos at 5:30 p.m. Cowboys play the Giants this Sunday at 1:25 p.m. The Rams play the Seahawks this Sunday at 10 a.m. The Chargers play a tough one this Sunday, facing off against the Chiefs at 1:05 p.m. Now for some college football. USC beat Arizona last Saturday with their final score 28-26.
Here in the first quarter, with USC down 3-0, Javorius Allen jukes a couple defenders and takes it for USC's first touchdown. Now here in the second, with USC up 7-6, Javorius Allen takes it to the house to boost USC's lead. Now in the third, Javorius Allen gets another big touchdown to boost USC's lead. Now in the final seconds, Arizona's kicker chokes and misses the game-winning field goal.
UCLA played Oregon last Saturday, losing with a devastating score of 42-30. USC plays this Saturday, facing off against Colorado at 3 o'clock p.m. UCLA also plays Saturday, facing off against Cal at 12:30 p.m. That's it for this week, Fair Grove. I'm Damien Alvarado, and I'll have more sports for you next week.
Thanks, Damien.
I love reading.
Oh, well, then let's go head over to book club.
With your host, Gabriel Estrada.
Hey Fair Grove, I'm your host, Gabriel Estrada for Book Club. This week's book is a higher grade level for the 5th through 8th graders. This week's book is Hunger Games by Suzanne Collins. I chose this book because it's more of a challenging book for the 8th graders. Today I want to show you how to use bookmarkers because they're not only used to keep your spot in a book, but they're also used to help you find your place in any book. When I wake up, the other side of the bed is cold. My finger stretches out, seeking Prim's warmth by finding only the rough caverns of the mattress. That's all for this week, Fair Grove. Now let's head back to the studio and listen to Silas. And remember, don't judge a book by its cover.
Thanks, Gabe.
We'll be back, Fair Grove.
for College Focus. Now let's get on with this week's show. This week we'll be asking Ms. Kraft a few questions. Good morning, Ms. Kraft. I have a few questions for you. What college did you go to?
I went to UC Riverside for my bachelor's degrees, and I went to Cal State Fullerton for my credential.
What did you major in?
I actually double majored. I majored in dance and English.
What was the best thing about going to college?
I think the best thing about going to college was the freedom to make my own choices and to discover really who I was.
Thanks, Ms. Kraft. Well, that's all for this week, Fargo Falcons. I'm your host, Alexis Holguin for College Focus. Now back to the studio with Alyssa and Silas. Bye.
We're back! Let's go check out Weekly Poll.
What's up, Fargo? I'm Matthew Osser, your host for Weekly Poll. Now, let's get over to this week's question. And the question for this week is, what is your favorite Halloween candy?
Jolly Ranchers.
Snickers.
Kit Kat.
Sneakers.
Snickers.
Hershey's.
Kit Kat, baby! Kit Kat. Jolly Ranchers.
Kit Kat.
Kit Kat, baby! What is your favorite Halloween candy? Recess. Crunch. What is your favorite Halloween candy? Twix.
My favorite candy is Recess.
Hershey's. Recess.
Sneakers.
And here are the results. Twix 1, Kit Kat 5, Snickers 4, Hershey's 3, Jolly Ranchers 2, Recess 4, Crunch 1, Kit Kat 1 with a total of 5.
Remember, Fargo, I'm Matthew Osser, your host for Weekly Poll. And now let's get back to studio with Silas Bravo and Alyssa Godoy.
Thanks, Anthony.
I wonder what's up with Fairgrove.
Well, why don't we go find out with your host, Lila Zimeno.
Hey, Fargo Falcons. I'm Lila Zimeno, your host for What's Up with Fargo.
Tomorrow will be a pancake breakfast in support of band. To support choir, tomorrow we will be having a family portrait day. Packages will be starting at $46.
October 21st, Halloween candied apples grams will be sold for $2 with an ASP card and $3 without. October 20th through October 24th will be Red Ribbon Week. So here are some of the upcoming events. Tuesday, October 21st will be Sock It to Drugs Day. So wear your crazy socks. Wednesday, wear your red tops with uniform bottoms. Tattoos will be on sale at lunch for only 50 cents. Friday is Shade Out Drugs Day, so wear your most awesomest shades. Don't forget to put all box tops in the office to help raise money for our schools. And make sure to buy your ASB cards in Miss Ballmeyer's room to get special discounts on all types of events. October 20th will be cross country championships at Mesa Robles. Don't forget to go and support your cross country team. October 20th, there will also be a game with football and volleyball at Newton versus Newton. So go and support your football and volleyball teams. And last but certainly not least, there will be the Teacher of the Year Assembly at the district office. And the winner is Miss Cannon. Great job, Miss Cannon. Well, that's all for this week. See you next time on What's Up with Fairgrove. Now back to the studio with Silas Bravo and Alyssa Godoy.
Thanks, Lila.
Well, that's it for this week, Fairgrove.
Bye.